I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. My life has value.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Global Watchman News, exposing satanic world government. I hope you guys are all doing well. If you are on the live chat, we do ask you to keep it family friendly. There will be moderators in there to make sure that we stay within the terms of service put forth to us by the platforms we're utilizing today. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Take a minute to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you know when we go live. So this is just going to be really quick channel announcement. Myself and a friend of mine, his name is Eli. He goes by the Progressive Patriot. Ken is in the chat room right now, and he's the one that put me in Eli's group. And Eli and I, for some reason, even though we are on completely opposite sides of just about every argument or every topic out there, we click. For some odd reason. But he asked me if I would be willing to have a discussion or debate regarding the purpose of Cern. And the topic will be whether if it's safe and being used solely for scientific advancements, or is it being used for nefarious agendas to open portals in other dimensions? And I guess you guys can decide which side I'm on and which side he's on. It'll be completely friendly. It'll be for informational purposes only. He's not there to change my mind in anything. I'm not there to change his mind in anything. We're there to come together in a collaboration of knowledge, and I cannot wait for this. The date is to be determined. We'll announce that at a later time. But he asked me if I would play his live stream from last night and kind of introduce you guys to him. This is Eli, the Progressive Patriot.
A thousand pardons, a thousand salutations. I know, I know. Ah, look at that background. It's a wreck. Usually you can't even see that much. But we're not here to talk about the chaos that is my failing to listen to Jordan Peterson's rules. Get up, make the bed, and make sure you have a clean living space. The basics. Now, well, I've skipped all that, and what I've been doing recently is studying a lot about the big C. No, it's not what you think. I have recently taken it upon myself to identify the individual that I believe to have the strongest opinion about Cern. It is not what I would consider a optimistic, positive opinion, and I will not put any words in this individual's mouth. I will just say that the scope of which the individual looks at CERN is through a different lens than myself, which is predominantly of a spiritual nature. So, with that being said, on my it's been an interesting day all around. First off, after work, I ran into some Black Israelites and got to get a nice refresher course on the lovely acceptance of certain religions, so on and so forth. I made it clear what my stance is. I even took one of their paraphernalia propaganda pieces and went on my merry way to come home. I have been studying as much as possible about CERN, um, and joining a panel earlier. For one, let me just state an obvious. For one, when I'm on my solo channel, I mention that I have a channel. I mean, hell, I'm literally on one. So if I'm on a panel by default, does that not say, yeah, I probably make content. I mean, I'm here, right? So I don't know. I had a great experience on the panel earlier. I think there were some individuals that definitely articulated that they felt I just jump in there just to kind of plug my show or my existence and jump out. So I stuck around and I listened and I came back. I hung around, and lo and behold, you know what? You cannot control perception, and at least everybody was man or woman enough to say what they really thought, and at least valuable, substantial dialogue can come from people that aren't bullshitting you. But like something that's always going to baffle me is, don't we all have a mutual goal? If we're on here with a microphone and a camera, doesn't that kind of say we're trying to do something? So, look, I didn't mention the full entirety of what my link is. I in passing mentioned stuck in the middle. But what are these weird, invisible, made up rules here? This delicate dance. You do a show, but don't mention it, and whatever the case, man. Somebody show me who freestyled these rules, and I'll start following them. Nah, not really. But that doesn't bother me. I mean, I'm not really bothered, but I do see that I am fitting to put myself into the crosshairs of a large demographic on the internet. I can't say I find these people too much in the real world. CERN has a lot of people of different denominations, faiths, spiritual backgrounds, philosophies, ideologies, thinking that we're opening portals to other dimensions, the upside down, hell. I learned and shared some information because I am studying CERN. That they found three exotic particles. Exotic is just a term that they're using. Brand new particles, as in never before seen by a human eye or microscope, and so they're using the term exotic instead of unusual. So I understand. And look, one of the videos was played. Apparently, there's a fear, and there were people involved in the CERN project that wanted to bring them to court to shut down the whole process because if it mimicked the action of a black hole, no matter how big or small, apparently the size does matter. Apparently, yeah. I mean, how many times am I gonna say fucking apparently? So it does matter. I guess if it's somewhat larger than microscopic, there is a legitimate fear that it will start to suck the earth into itself and implode. Now, I shared as being honest as possible with anybody, which is all I can offer from myself for what it is I do when I'm not doing my 9 to 5. Um, I'm being transparent and I'm trying to be of two minds, find common ground, and ultimately I'm going to reach my conclusion, a conclusion. I'm excited about what the science is able and capable of doing. It can re-simulate the Big Bang, and it can help us. What is a fundamental thing that humanity has always had? We've always wanted to understand how things came to be, how we came to be. Now, I know there's the religious demographic that are satisfied with what they have, and those pesky scientists who have lost a lot of credibility in the passing days, not to be confused with biochemists. So let's, appoint the negativity where it belongs. Okay, I'm not going to name names. I don't want to get worried about a strike. So I see the excitement about like a new territory. I see the fear, and I even understand it when it comes to what is capable, what this whole thing is capable of. I don't have a full, proper, scientific, intellectual grasp of everything this is trying to accomplish. I'm starting as far back as I can. There was somebody on that previous panel that told me CERN has been around since the 30s. And the person I will be discussing this with in a week's time, if she allows me to do so, um, has been researching CERN through her very, not individual. I mean, it's a popular lens. There's a lot of religious people, not just Christians. I think just religious or spiritual individuals in general that look at CERN and think this is man playing God and doing things that we shouldn't do, and it's reminiscent of the atomic bomb and all this. And I guess there's enough practical news out there to scare people. I am equally divided at this point in my journey of learning what I can before I speak about this with somebody that's more invested. I have brought this to the attention of some friends of mine that are scientists, one of which is a data analyst researcher in Israel. Another one is a scientist in our own great state of Florida. And I really want to get as well informed as possible about this topic before I bring it to a whole audience. And frankly, I think my stance will be outnumbered because thus far, while I understand fear of the unknown, the uncharted, whatever you want to call it, I do not believe the headlines, which have already gotten backlash. That originally it was said scientists opening portals, CERN opening portals into a new dimension. And those were not even the literal headlines. The scientific community, when those headlines first started to be produced and given to the public, the scientific community was like, that's not an accurate representation. It's too hyperbolic. That's not what we're doing. So I understand, we don't trust the mainstream. We don't trust the media. People don't trust scientists these days. That's just where we're at. And given the thing that just happened with, what's the term I can use? The C to the vid. I get why it's, not popular to just don't trust anything wholeheartedly. Always have a little layer of skepticism that has to be breached before, you dive right in, I suppose. Just maintain skepticism for all sides. So I guess I understand why people fear what CERN is doing. I also do understand why it's exciting. Hell, brand new particles that have never been seen or discovered or given a name that we are now seeing for the first time. Fascinating and exciting to me. I understand not everybody will share in that excitement. I need to continue to do the research and fully grasp, what does it all mean? What is it? Start with why? What is the vested interest? Aside from, I suppose, understanding how the universe, or how at least our galaxy within our threshold, within our solar system was created that's pretty interesting. I don't know. I'd hearken a guess to be just as invested as possible to get some answers, but at what cost? And that's what I am currently evaluating and studying. And I do invite everybody to join me on this journey. Supply me Progressive Patriot 44 at gmail.com. If you're a channel, if you're a content creator, or if you just want to have me see some information that I have yet to see, well, I have a collection of a bunch of Cern material. It's an open invite for everybody. Everybody's voice counts and matters. And I'm just going to put it all together as best as I can within a limited amount of time to have a conversation that somebody that is definitely more well-informed. And regardless, though, I still see value in reaching across the aisle, which is a term apparently that wasn't very popular earlier. But we cannot deny that we are told, even though, it should be bullshit. One party system, two party state illusion. You think this way, you fit in that box on the left. You think this way, you fit in that box on the right. And you two are going to fight it out and keep voting. And, the infighting will just serve as a great distraction while the elite, the swamp, the 1% laugh all the way to the bank while we're all getting played in our little culture wars and whatnot. So, this was a quickie. Oh my goodness. Hello. Hi. This is me just now seeing the chat. I usually don't look at the chat. I don't look at my face when I'm live. So bear with me. I would like to see hello, V Global News. Hello. Cindy, my son's life mattered. Man, I wish I was in tune earlier. GQD Win 17. Have you worked at Cern? No, have you? I'm doing research as much as we all can. It's what we hi Global. I am simply I've amassed as much resources and material that I humanly can. And I've also, as I've mentioned, gotten the attention of other people that are more within the scientific realm, while maintaining an open mind to people that are looking at this from a symbolic or religious scope. Okay, and it's not a negative thing. It's just going to be a different perspective. So let me see. Once a mom even did what? Once a mom, I even did it. You did my dishes, unspecified. You did my dishes. Hey, listen, no judgment here. Okay, that's just one empty bottle, some spray and comic books. No judgment. Okay. But anyway, look, to the point. I'm on a mission. My mission is to amass knowledge. And once I have as much knowledge as I can possibly fit into my mind, it is going to be, look, let's be just out and about this. I was out of respect trying to keep names out of my mouth because the last panel I was on, while I appreciate everybody's presence and feedback, kind of gave me a little negative taste, regarding, yes, knowledge is key, regarding me just popping in, saying what I'm doing and popping out. I didn't even plug my channel. And somebody on the panel was like, I don't like the vibe of that kid. He just comes here and I just get this. He called me a smart meter licker or something, which I went back. Well, I stayed there, listened to him continue to talk about me. And then I went back on and we all watched a couple of videos about Cern. So, I could show you, just there's not enough thumbnails in the world to represent how many links I have. I have a lot of homework and I have a lot of friends that are going to help me study as much as I can. And yes, I'm going to stream from A or B. I haven't decided, honestly and truly. I think I want to do this solo as Progressive Patriot. Okay, Stuck in the Middle is its own beast. It has its own mission. Similar to Progressive Patriot, we want to find unity amongst people that are divided. I think we can all unify under the simple fact that we're getting played. Okay, the puppeteers have their strings and we're all kind of caught on it, and we're tugging because we know the game that's being played and we're sick of it. We're all at our, I think, brink as a nation, as American citizens, I think we could unify within this time. So I look at Cern as an opportunity to speak to, because the majority, if not the totality, of the demographic that believe that Cern is more of a supernatural venture, and Shiva and the symbols and other things that I don't fully grasp, where I'm going to be educated, and I am excited to be educated and challenged. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm alive to this day. I don't seek echo chambers. I don't find people that think like me. I need to find, aside from when I do my homework, but that's not the mission. The mission is to continue these beautiful friendships I have with people that on paper, everybody said you're not supposed to get along with them. You vote differently, but we'd still break bread together. I would fix your tires if I saw you on the road broken down. None of this political jargon, cultural warfare would even come up in conversation were I to greet you if you were to walk into my home. If we were neighbors, we would still care about one another. I'd like to think, no matter how pessimistic and crazy the mainstream wants you to think, we are so similar. We are so similar that it's still beautiful. And just they keep on slamming us as much as possible this day and age, with seemingly the world set on fire. We Stuck in the Middle covered what the government has done to the Dutch farmers. They've literally said, we have to cut your emissions. So I evolved last night on Stuck in the Middle's episode, which was anniversary episode 100, although truly it was episode 200. We just used a different name. I called myself out and said, I am starting to shake off the progressive stance, even though I still believe healthcare should be a basic human right. I know that's radical. The working class needs a better safety net. And something along those lines. However, I keep running into this wall, which is the government. And the government are the ones that I think progressives rely on to police themselves, which is laughable. So I continue to find out private sectors, they don't always have the largest budgets like government-funded places do, that aren't as efficient. So I'm evolving. This is a part of my journey personally. And if you all want to join me on this journey, this life experience, we're all just, I think, while I'm not spiritual, I think on some cosmic, beautiful level beyond my own comprehension, we're all connected. We're all on this rock coexisting, and we're doing our best to do so. And I think this is just one other interesting test, obstacle, or learning experience, just that, for the sake of having a new experience with somebody that doesn't think like me, is exciting to me. This is not about who's right and who's wrong. This is about sharing ideas, sharing different perspectives, and then simply understanding that and respecting one another all the while, and especially at the end. That's what it's about for me. So yes, official announcement, okay? Progressive Patriot, I'll be streaming from here. The larger audience, and I believe the majority of the audience, rightfully so, will be watching from Global News. Let me go back to where I can see the chat. My face. Global News, shotgun on the ride. We'll be there, and you'll bring the beer. I'll have the bourbon. And I'm excited. Intimidation, fear, these things don't exist in my world after you have survived things that we all survive in our grand life stories, right? Addiction, jail, rehab, being stabbed, surgeries, all these things. Those are just story filler moments that have happened and help bring me to the present. And in the present, I see just some homework that I'm actually excited to do. Boy, I wish I had this perspective when I actually went to school. Who's to say where I would have ended up? And I'm looking forward to it. I went live on YouTube. I didn't do the whole StreamYards thing. And yes, Global Watchman News too. Go ahead. I ask any and all of you that are watching live or end up rewatching this, please dare yourself to think outside of your own box. Once again, I hope you didn't just join me because we think alike. I hope I'm somewhat charming and likable, or whatever the case. But I hope you have found maybe somewhat of a challenge or something interesting that we are united while you would think we would not be. Look, I got a Bernie Sanders sticker back there, but I also became a Trump supporter. That's another example of the beauty of evolution in how we end up from point A to point B. And I too am looking forward to this collaboration, this collaborative work with my friend Laurie, who is the founder of Global News, and as I understand it, was unceremoniously removed from YouTube at one point. And I empathize with feeling like your life's work has been stricken or silenced. And yeah, in that we also unify. And we have to celebrate and champion our rights to free speech, even if it's under a private enterprise, which is why, even though it became a little bit of a contest between Josh and I on Stuck in the Middle, whereas he defended Twitter banning Jordan Peterson for speaking what he believed to be the truth, and I agreed with his right to do so, and his religious freedom to call pride a sin, and him not taking a knee. And yeah, I think free speech is worth fighting for. Okay. And I'm sure my mentioning this might just create Josh making a response video, which is, Josh, I'm not trying to pick a fight, man. Just obviously we ended off on a agree to disagree, we're stuck in the middle moment last night. Yeah, let me check out some comments. I've lost several channels. See, this is why it's so important to continue to support Global Watchman News too. You may not think like them, but that's not what fucking matters. Okay, it's about opening your mind and getting a new perspective. Okay, we are look at the world as a prism, as a beautiful, gorgeous jewel. No matter how tainted and toxic it's become, it might be a little rusty, but we all get to see a different light through each prism. So we're all just a different facet of the same jewel. And that's what makes things kind of exciting. I may go to a mundane and tedious, soul-sucking, soul-draining, slowly dying inside 9 to 5-esque or 5 to close-esque job, but I still get to come on here, share my voice. I got a whole story about the Black Israelites that I spoke to today for later rantings. And yeah, I do see value in identifying that which unifies us, because there's far more than the powers that be want us to know or believe, and understanding where we disagree. What the dividers shouldn't even divide us. It should just help us understand that no two people really think alike, no matter how alike, or if you're in the same party, no matter what you think, there's going to be something unique and special about the individual you may think is practically your twin that you didn't know. And it's that uncharted territory that I embark on to discover day in, day out, while I have the chance to do so, while free speech is still free, while I still have a platform before I get stricken down again. And also to respectfully to Laurie, who has already been stricken down after having over 70,000 subscribers. Can you imagine what that's like to have that taken away from you? So yeah, I do feel, regardless of how differently we approach the subject, I do feel like almost indebted to helping get her word, her message, the freedom to get her message out there, which is an inherent freedom that we all share. We all have the right to get our message out there and to discuss it and not be condescended to by the arbiters of truth that maintain that we have a monopoly on free speech and platforms, and you can only talk about what we allow you to talk about, which has since created other platforms, social media outlets where people end up going to echo chambers, and we lose the art of discourse and discussion. By the way, feel free. I hate doing this in a moment like this. 11 people, feel free to smash the like button. Give me a little incentive traction if you feel me worthy of such, and share this video, if anything, to help get out there that two people that, for all intents and purposes, are not supposed to get along, talk to one another, agree with each other, or whatever. You would think if you just saw her profile and my profile that we'd be like re at each other. No, we're breaking that entire bullshit narrative that we're supposed to dislike one another because we think differently. We're going to come together and have a discussion, because it is our freedom, it is our right, and it is just something that is just as an explorer goes out to discover new territory, uncharted territory. It is our right to find our own excitement and inspiration while we breathe, while we have this life to live. As far as I understand it, it's just one. So make it count. Laurie, I look forward to our discussion. Shamrock, Global, Unspecified is just, she's an extension of my heart. Okay, Cindy, you don't speak too much, but I adore you. Kenneth Medina is like a brother from another mother, just saying. Ducks, you are just so enthusiastic. You're like a ball of energy. You are like Spider-Man 2's fusion that Doc Ock is trying to control. Ooh, is this like Cern? I don't know. You see what I did? I don't know if I did it. I barely finished the joke. But yeah, Doc Ock had that fusion energy. He couldn't contain it, and he had to sacrifice himself so that the world would be saved. Maybe, just maybe, Progressive Patriot, this guy right here, Global Watchman News 2, are going to save the world. Be a part of it. No, and anyway, besides the point and my humor, I jest. Much love to everybody that continues to celebrate the rights that we have and live the ever-loving crap out of those rights. I'm dead serious. At this point in the world, I don't know how long such a thing, the term rights and freedom of, are starting to sound taboo. What's going on to the Dutch people, farmers, is going on in Italy, and we've seen too many things that are just alarming here in the States. So I understand fear more than anything else, but above all, I have the thirst for intellect and understanding, and fear will not conquer my hunger for knowledge above all else. So, my moniker, my good friends and family, you are my kin. If you give me the time of day, hear me speak, you are my kin. Okay? Find the unifiers, identify that is supposed to divide us, and find your common ground. Agree to disagree, then break bread, have a beer. Prost, Nastrovia, cheers, and good night. Progressive Patriot salute, youtube.com/stuckmiddle, and Global Watchman News 2 by the lovely Laurie. Good night, guys. Thank you for this. Really.
Okay, that was the Progressive Patriot, Eli. And we are going to be simulcasting a discussion regarding Cern. The discussion will not be him trying to change my mind or me trying to change his mind. It'll be us both bringing information to the table for one another. And I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, Eli and I could not be any different from each other. And yet, for some reason, we click. I guess that's what's important. So we will be having a live debate discussion regarding the purpose of CERN. Is it safe and being used solely for scientific advancements, or is it being used for nefarious agendas to open portals to other dimensions? You guys can decide which side I'm going to be on and which side he's going to be on. I'm looking forward to it. We don't know the date yet, but that will be announced. And like I said, it will be simulcasted. I will be simulcasting on YouTube, Facebook, and I may put it either on Twitch or Twitter. I'm not sure which one yet, but I'll be doing it on 3 platforms. I'm not sure how many he'll be doing it. He might be doing it on Facebook and YouTube as well. Looking forward to it. You guys can see he's a very intellectual human being. He has a great mind and a great spirit. So looking forward to that, and that will be announced. Tonight's show, guys, you are not going to want to miss. Back last year, we talked about cyber polygon and how the WEF and the Interpol were working together to do drills on taking down the internet, taking down things like this. How the cybersecurity of the planet. Yesterday, on July 8th, they did a drill, and I'm using air quotes here, that I believe went live. because Canada was without internet, without phone service, and their banking system was down. Other places across the world were having the same problems as well. We're going to talk about that tonight, myself and my co-host, Ernie Nicholson, will be with me. So we will be live at our usual time, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. So I'll put the link in the description below where you can subscribe to Eli. He's got 2 channels, the Progressive Patriot, and he does 3 times a week. He goes live with his co-host, and they do stuff in the middle. I'm going to put both of those links down below. I urge each and every one of you to reach out and to subscribe to his channel, and we will see you back here tonight. Until next time, remember, guys, eyes open, no fear.